Illinois at Oregon, Big Ten matchup in Eugene. Oregon is currently a 21.5 point favorite. I believe that line's actually moved up. I did not update that. I think it's 23.5 at this point, or at least it was for a bit today. Um, and I think it's there for a good reason, Mason. I think this is going to be a really tough test for Illinois in this football game. Illinois matching up with Oregon, I think is a really bad matchup for Illinois in this one. I don't love Illinois' ability to be able to run the ball in this game. And it's pretty simple. Them being one dimensional against this Oregon defense, against Tosh Lapoy, against Dan Lanning, I just think it's a recipe for a really bad game. You're going to need to be able to have everything going in this football game. Illinois is more of a passing offense than they are a rushing offense at this point. A couple of decent wide receivers, guys that have been in the program for a while. And it's kind of a weird style to see with Illinois. In years past, Brett Bielema has been a run to set up the pass type of coach. And this team's a little bit different. It's set up a little bit different. Defensively, I don't think they're as good as what they would need to be able to have some kind of edge in this football game. We've seen Oregon whenever the bright lights come on. We've seen Oregon be able to do pretty much whatever they needed to do on offense. We talked about it early in the season and felt like Oregon kind of had an inept ability to be able to run the football early in the season, and that seems to have changed. There's been a lot of cohesion throughout the season with the offensive line. You seem to have everybody healthy. Um, and I meant to go read the injury report on Ferguson and Birch and some of those other guys for this Oregon team. And I forgot to do it right before we started the show. So you guys let me know in the comment section.
They're just all listed as questionable right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you Oregon fans, let me know. I know you guys. Everybody's got their inside, duck talk or whatever the heck you want to, reference there. Let us know in the comment section what the hell status is for some of those guys. But I think this spread is as big as what it is for good reason, Mason. I like Oregon here in this spot. What are your thoughts on Illinois this season? It's been a very good story, but I think we're getting to the point in the season where we've got to differentiate really good teams from a really good story.
Yeah, I think and peanut butter policy in the comment sections, I nailed a point that I was going to make. Illinois' got to travel to Oregon, and we've seen this this trend in the Big Ten where teams that are playing across country away are losing at a, at a you know really crazy rate. I mean, we saw USC travel to Maryland this past week and lose that football game, right? I mean that USC is a better team than Maryland, right? But that has had a dramatic effect on these football games. Let alone the fact that Oregon is a better team than Illinois. I mean, if they were to meet, a midpoint somewhere, Oregon would still be probably a 17-point favorite in this football game. So that doesn't bode well. That's not playing into the favor of Illinois. But look, Illinois has been doubted all year, right? And they continue to win a lot of big football games, and it's been a really impressive team, I think, for the most part. For what Brett Bielema has wanted to do or has done this year so far. When I look at the Illinois team, I think that Luke Altmaier is playing really well. They've had an ability to really spread the ball around and extend drives that way. I'm anxious to see what this offensive line is going to do against Oregon's pass rush. The pass rush for Oregon has gotten better week over week. Uyunglele has been eating. If Jordan Birch goes in this game, he's been a dog for them. Um, they they've gotten better. Like I said, week over week, it seems like they're really kind of catching their stride right now. And then on offense, I would say the same thing. Since they've made the adjustments on the offensive line, I haven't seen as many struggles on that side of the football for this team. Now, I think Trayshawn Holden should be back from his suspension this week. I think that'll be a big addition. Evan Stewart has been coming on as of late. Of
Yeah.
course, I mean, we know what Tess Johnson is. He's the wide receiver one for this team. Even though he maybe didn't show it against Ohio State, you had another player in Evan Stewart step up in that game. So they've got multiple options, right? Running backs are fine, and Jordan James really like what he does. And again, it kind of boils down to the offensive line in all of those categories. I mean, there's two categories: passing or running. But it seems like as the offensive line goes, this offense goes. And they've been playing much better. Now, for Illinois on the defensive side of the football, they've been okay. Not a, it's not like a strong pursuit of this football team, but one thing they've been really good at is the takeaways. This team
Mhm.
on the back end of the defense is really good at finding the football, breaking up passes. They've been pretty good at and just getting their hands on the football, whether it's through an interception or through a fumble. I've been really impressed with the athletic ability of the defense to really focus on stripping the football. Right, when they go to tackle you, they're getting a hand in there and trying to pull that ball out. So if you're going to beat Oregon, you gotta you gotta continue that trend and really win a lot of those because you are mismatched, you are outmanned in this football game. But that is a path that is one path I think that Illinois could exploit and potentially make this a football game. But outside of that, I mean, when you really just go, uh, personnel to personnel, obviously Oregon has the upper hand here. They've got a lot of momentum. They're one of the only undefeated elite teams in college football right now. It's them and Penn State, I guess you would say. Um, so they're playing at a high standard. I think Dan Lanning will have these guys ready for this team, and I think that Oregon is going to be looking to make another statement win this week.
Yeah, I mean, look, just looking at Illinois' schedule, where that's kind of the theme of today. We're kind of looking at some of the schedules for these teams. Illinois hasn't played an offense anywhere close to what Oregon is going to produce here. I mean, nowhere close. Listen to these opponents: EIU, whatever that is. Okay, Kansas. At second game of the year, we thought Kansas was still pretty good. We still thought they were, we were still thinking they were good, and they only scored 17 in that game. So we thought, oh, okay, Illinois defense not bad, huh? Um, CMU, we won't talk about that. Nebraska, you give up 24 to Nebraska. Well, as we've come to figure out, Nebraska's offense is not very good. Okay, not very good so far this season.
And
You,
Nebraska should have won that football game, by the way. I did watch
yeah,
all of that football game, and Nebraska really should have won, but it came back to the Illinois defenders making plays and pulling the ball out and getting some
yeah.
turnovers and some picks and things like that.
Purdue, not a good offensive football team. Gave up 49 to Purdue, right? That's unacceptable. Um, Michigan, not a good offensive football team. Didn't give up a bunch of points to them, so that's good. But my whole point in this is, where of all those teams? I mean, and I'll throw Penn State in there, who's elite or whatever. Who's got the good offense? I haven't seen it. Illinois is going to see the best offense that they've seen all season this weekend. I think Oregon is able to cover the spread here. There's no chance I could go in and bet on Illinois, even though this is such a large spread. Illinois going all the way across the country for this new Big Ten road trip thing that's going to be going on week in and week out of college football season now. I don't think this shapes up very well for Illinois, and I think Oregon is a team that is destined for the Big Ten championship and a college football playoff berth.